if that works. Definitely need to take a quick sip of this. Let's see if that is showing up where it should show up. No, I'm just going to try one more thing. It's obviously a problem with Facebook this morning. Oh, here we go. It has shown up finally. So I'm always really curious about human beings, and I find human beings absolutely amazing. And one of the things, see, I use the word amazing there without even thinking about it. But for me, as I've said right at the beginning, day one, what is amazing? The word, if you want to look up what the word means, it means to astonish. It means to do something that's kind of wonderful. It's to do something that makes you think, wow, that was pretty incredible. And I think what's really interesting is about what we've been told or what we have believed what is amazing. And you probably wouldn't be surprised that for many of us, what we thought as amazing and what we've chased to be amazing, when we've got it, we've realized, well, that actually isn't as great as I thought it would be. And my biggest challenge in supporting and coaching everyone that I coach is for them to realize just how amazing they are, because human beings are really good at picking fault in themselves and picking fault in others rather than looking for what is good about who they are. And it fascinates me that you could hear people talking, and one of the things they'll talk about is what is wrong with everybody else, rather than what they're really talking about is what is actually wrong with themselves, because we often are very preoccupied with the world outside of ourselves rather than looking to ourselves to sort ourselves out for us to be truly who we are capable of being. And when we do a Fridays are all about summarizing what we've talked about this week, and for you maybe to go away with some specific things that you can do to apply to your life to make your life better than it actually is today. So these were my notes this morning, but I just wanted to share one of the most fascinating things for this week, and this has to be one of my favorite weeks, is that I just started going back through lots of the stuff I've written down and writing down amazing is. So I must have written down 10 pages of literally everything that what I think amazing is. And as many of you know, yesterday and the day before, I was saying, well, what is amazing to you? And that's one of the reasons why I encourage you to make notes. Because, for example, if you started to, right now, tell me, all of you that are watching this, what is amazing to you? As you look around, what do you see that's amazing? What is it that you've already done today that is amazing? Or what is it that you're going to do today that will astonish you, that will build you, that will make you at the end of the day go, that was a great day because of what it is that I did? So let me share with you. Let me just see what some of you have to say right here now. The colors of autumn, my life. What else is amazing right now? The moon. I don't know how many of you saw the moon last night, but it was absolutely incredible. What you've created, absolutely, it's amazing. Sunrise. See, most of us aren't looking for what amazing. We're just looking for what is wrong, what is missing, what we haven't got, what is. And this is fascinating because this is almost how we're programmed. If you think about how we are programmed to survive, we are programmed to look out for what is wrong, because we aren't designed to live in the modern world. We're just not. We're not designed to be stimulated the way that we are. We're not designed to have light shining in our face. We're not designed to have multiple things going on at any one time. We're actually designed in a very simple way. We are hunter-gatherers. That's what we are. We aren't even programmed to thrive. We are programmed just to survive. That's how, and that's, we have changed, but we haven't really evolved that much. So this is why this is such a challenge for most people to understand, that it's very easy to just be comfortable, to to maintain the life that you have. But if you want anything to be better than what it is today, chances are you're going to have to work for it. You're going to have some sort of sacrifice in order to get what it is that you want. So let's look at some of the things we looked at this week. So I asked you, how many of you that are really a part of My 365 would say that you are really committed to this? Because if you are really committed to this, you've closed the door on indecisiveness. You've closed that door. That door is locked, completely 100% locked. But for some people, it's, I'm not interested in this. And when you're interested, as you know, that door is wide open, because at any point you can find yourself going down a path and think, why am I going down this path? Well, it was obvious, right? You were just kind of interested. You're swaying from backwards, forwards, and backwards, rather than being committed and standing in a place of strength and saying, this is what I'm doing. This is really important to me. And no one can do that for you. I sometimes wish I could make people be committed to something, but I cannot do that. All I can do is be committed to what I'm doing. And maybe that makes some of you go, well, if he can do it, I can do it. And that's a massive part of My 365, to look around and see other people achieve amazing things. And for you to go, well, if they can do it, I can do it. And not to look at people with envy. That's not an amazing thing to do, and think, look what they've got. Why haven't I got that? That's about social comparison. Maybe we'll spend a week on what isn't amazing, what's terrible, what's awful. And that is one of the most awful things human beings do, when they compare themselves to other people all the time. One of the most amazing things that you can do is to look at other people who have achieved great success and say, that's amazing. I admire you. You're brilliant. And this is one of the things I want all of you to really take massive ownership for this week, is what does being amazing mean to you? Because what it might mean to you, it might be completely different to someone else. What I think is actually amazing to most people is probably quite boring. Getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, writing notes, meditating, doing yoga, doing a few other things, emptying the dishwasher, just getting things in place so that my day is great because of how I started the day. I think that's absolutely amazing, but that's me. What about you? And this is what I would love you to really reflect on, because as I say something else that is hugely profound, I want the success that you have to be your success, not my success, not My 365. You did it. You were the one. You invested your personal energy. And think about it. Is that not one of the most amazing things that any human being can do? Is to decide, this is what I want to do, and invest their own energy, their belief, their dedication, their passion and purpose to make something happen. You know, I wrote something down this morning about if you want to go the other way from everybody else, because they're all going in the direction that you don't want to go, then you might have to be prepared to walk that path on your own. But I think it's better to walk that path on your own than to go down a path that you don't want to go down. But what I've been looking to create is a path where you don't have to do that. Because human beings need other human beings. To survive and try and do everything on your own is very, very difficult. The only reason you're here is because people collaborated with other people for your existence. And maybe you've been let down, or maybe things have happened to you. But the reality is, we all need like-minded people. We are the sum of the 5 people that we spend the most time with. That also is amazing. Hear what I'm saying. This is what I think is amazing. And who the hell am I to tell you? Because this is one of my faults, is to give advice to people where people don't ask for it. Who am I to tell anyone what they should and shouldn't do? You should live your life in your own way. If you want my advice, then well, you're actually here because you want my advice, right? Because that's kind of like what I'm giving you. You're asking for it. Many of you are paying for it, so I'm going to give it to you. I think amazing is to basically to buckle down. Amazing is to really recognize your talents. What is it that you're actually here to do? What do you want to do? What is the life that you want to lead? What else have I written down here? I wrote this down this morning. Amazing is knowing that you're a tiger living amongst sheep. And I thought that it was really interesting, because I've had this debate recently with someone about, is everyone a leader? Absolutely. You led yourself out of bed this morning. How did you lead yourself out of bed? What did you say to yourself? Did you say, wow, let's go? Or did you say, oh, no, I've got to get up? When you look at what you're going to have for breakfast, or you look at all the decisions that you're going to make, you're leading yourself. You're leading the most important person into battle is you. You go into battle when you go into the world because it's quite tough out there to create the life that you want. You are the leader in your own life. My goal in the next book that we're about to start writing is about people becoming leaders who that person wants to follow the leader. See, I want you to follow me, not just by what I say, but just also by what I do. And that to me is the next generation of what we're trying to create here, is inspiring people who inspire others, not by what they say, by what they do. It's like, look at me. I am the example in my own life. I don't mean me. I mean all of us. If you want that, it's like Michelangelo's David. Most people don't know about Michelangelo. He was 6 years old when he started living with a stone cutter. And for years, he just watched and observed and picked up the bits of rock and saw what the stone cutter did. So when you look at something like the statue of David, it took him years to do that. You know, a genius isn't something which just happens like that. A genius is something which, you know, that happens over time. And we are chiseling. Most of you know what chiseling means, right? To chisel. The word character comes from the word chisel. So to develop your character, you're chiseling away. Just like that's what you do every single day to bring out the best version of yourself. So what else did we talk about this week? We talked about the word jihad, which again, a lot of people thought, oh, you're talking about some sort of people doing something really terrible. Well, if you look at the origin of the word, it's a fascinating word. It's an absolutely fascinating word. And it was when the Muslims were being suppressed themselves and their lives were they were being slaughtered and they were being killed, that their jihad was, well, you still can't destroy our souls. You still can't destroy who we are inside. And that was the same with Viktor Frankl, who is a prisoner of war in a concentration camp. His family was killed. And his what was it called? His philosophy, logotherapy, which is you can do what you want to me, but you still can't choose how I feel. Isn't that amazing? It's time for all of us to wake up and think, well, we live in an amazing world and we can do amazing things. We can astonish ourselves. We can be slimmer, fitter, healthier. We can be happier. We can be more confident. We can have more money. Money is something we'll spend maybe a week talking about, because those of you with a lack of money is probably a lack of self-worth. This is all a reflection on us. And when we reflect the mirror on ourselves, and this is what I had with an amazing coach, is when I was with the coach, I saw my own reflection in him. And often I didn't like what I saw because he was so transparent. He was just so comfortable where he was that I sometimes saw things, I saw my imperfections. But the thing about our imperfections are we can work on it. We can get better. We can be happy. We can be who we want to be. What else did we look at this week? This whole notion of a ship. You think, well, why were ships built? They weren't just put in to be trophies. In fact, many people buy a ship because they think it's a great idea. Then they get it. They realize it's actually really hard work. And then they just leave it in, and they don't use it. But in most cases, the ship was built to go out and withstand challenging times. Why were you built? That's what we talked about last week with purpose. That's why I love these questions from last week. I know this is quite full on for a Friday morning, but hey, I'm sure many of you are enjoying this. These great questions. How will the world be better with me in it? What an amazing question. What are my unique talents? And how can I give those talents to the world? Who am I at my best? Who are you at your best? Amazing is doing things even when you don't feel like it. Amazing is doing things and knowing that it's taking you in the direction that you want to go. There's so much more I could say from what I've personally learned this week. But I promise you one thing, the best is yet to come. And if you see me as your coach, how many of you see me as your coach? Just say yes or no. If you'd say no, it's fine. You don't have to be here, right? You can, maybe you're watching this randomly. Who knows? But if you do see me as your coach, it's my privilege to serve you. And my goal is to give you the best of me. If that's how you see me, then take the time. I've invested a lot of hours into sharing this with you. What have you learned? What have you learned this week? What have you achieved this week? And what are you going to do with it? Now, the best thing you can do is get up in front of the camera, make the video, get it out there, because we all learn from each other. How many of you learn from what other people say and do? That's the first thing. If you don't want to do that for whatever reason, at least write it down and at least tell 5 people, or at least tell one person, what have you actually learned this week? What are you going to do? Otherwise, it just becomes lip service. And I don't want that for you. I really want what's best for you. And you're going to see some big changes here, as you know. There's a couple of things. If you're an elite member, or if you're on our weight loss challenge, on the 25th of November, we're going to have an event in London. We'll have more information about that. But just for now, put that date in your diary. And the other thing is, you know, you're going to have 2 more weeks for those of you that aren't elite of these live broadcasts every day. And then it's just once a week. Everything is going to be about elite. I'm looking for people who want to be the superhero in their own life. I'm looking for people who have got big goals, big dreams, big ambitions, or small goals, dreams, and ambitions. It doesn't matter. People who want to do something. They want to achieve something. They want to make something happen. And if you're one of those people, I promise you, the next 365 days are going to be so transformational for you guys that I think we're all going to amaze ourselves by what we achieve. Isn't it incredible what we achieve when we put our mind to something? You know, we've been given these gifts, and I talk about this a lot. Like, you've been given a workshop. You've been given a workshop. You know where it is? It's in here. It's the workshop where you can go in and you can start imagining and seeing things and asking some great questions of yourself to build and construct an amazing life. So I'm looking forward to learning from all of you. And, you know, there are some great videos that have already been made this week that, you know, I do my best to watch all of them, and when I can. But this community is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And many of you, or maybe all of you, will become great examples to other people. So why not? It's Friday. Who's got a question? I know I've been going on now for quite a while, but we have no limits. Absolutely. And I can't thank you guys for helping me get better, because I'm better than ever, because I have a channel to operate myself with, and I'm very thankful to that. Anyone got any questions before we finish off today? Who likes that emblem? Isn't that great? That's the superhero in all of us. That's not a question, is it? So next week, just so you know, we're going to start working on states, on being able to choose the emotional state that you go into, and also being able to put someone else in a state by the state that you're in. Really fascinating stuff that I'm going to be sharing with you. Some stuff I've not shared with you guys before. You know, when I look at my training started really in 1989, but in the 90s, I did a lot of training in areas of psychology, neuro-linguistic programming, hypnotherapy, and a lot of that stuff I don't share, but I'm ready to start sharing some more stuff with all of you. So I don't think anyone's got any questions, but you can always put them in the Facebook group if you do. Thank you so much for showing up this week and making this week amazing. To get up at 4 a.m. every day, how much sleep do you feel you get? Do you use an alarm clock? Yes. Hey, Sean, I saw a message from you. This is a guy who I saw. He came to see me for, I think, one session, right? He came to see me in 2003, I think. I tried it. I went to bed at 9 o'clock last night. And so 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 hours. But normally it's 6, which really isn't enough. So I look to try and catch up on the weekend and get 8 or 9 hours sleep. Before the advent of the light bulb, most people had about 10 hours sleep a night. We're not designed to be awake at night. That's why we can't see in the dark. You know, when the lights are down, that's when we should sleep. In the winter, we should get more sleep. But we can get away with it, most of us, but there tends to be a cumulative effect for most of us at some point. If you get tired like tomorrow or the next day, it's normally because of what happened 2 or 3 days ago. Anyone else got any questions? Will you be able to get a print of the design behind you soon? Good question, Karen. I need to look into that. I'm sure where there's a will, there's a way, right? You need to email us info@my365.me. Any other questions? Have an amazing day, guys. Stay plugged in. Share. Look at the numbers. Look at the amount of people that are watching now compared to the people that are watching at the beginning of the week. We can all be superheroes at the beginning, can't we? Then we tend to go down. But I'm looking for the superheroes that just want to keep going, keep flying high. Have a great day. Thank you, everyone, for making this such an exceptional week. Sean, I just sent you a message, by the way. Take care. All the best. End the video there. Let's just do a quick summary here. 20 seconds. Hands free. So that's it. Day 5 on how to be amazing every single day. For me, it's been one of the most phenomenal weeks we've ever done. And take the time to review, watch the live presentation. We'll see you next week as we start working on how to build strong emotional states as and when you want them. There we go. That was easy enough. Have a great day. See you soon. Much love.